Hello guys, welcome back to new video. Now we will discuss about the professional real exam, Databricks data engineer professional real exam question. So basically I have given an exam this on the January 15th and I got passed. So I have decided to let's share the real exam question. When I was preparing I had to go through multiple documents, courses, then I get to this conclusion. Even I had a issue with the question. I did not find any real question. Let's see. I have created this question for you guys. Hope you will enjoy it. Let's take an overview of first data engineer professional exam. How many questions? How many? What is the duration of time? What is it will be the? Hello guys. Let's welcome back to new video. Now we will discuss the Databricks certified data engineer professional real exam questions. I have given this exam on January 15th and I got passed. So I just decided to share the questions with you guys. Let's take an overview of firstly how many questions we have. So there will be total 59 questions in an exam. Mostly all of are the multiple choice. One or two are the multiple choice and most of them are in the single choice question. Talking about the duration, we'll get the 120 minutes of time. I guess that is sufficient. Like 100 minutes is maximum we can do. We can solve all these 60 questions. And the fees is $200. So if you are, you can ask your organization. If your organization is partner with the Databricks, they can provide you an voucher code. So same my company provided me. So I given that exam. So for me, exam fees was null. Let's understand. Let's take the first question. So whatever the question I'm talking, giving over here. So go through it deeply. I'll give an example. In this question, they are asking about the what will the advantage of a transform function in this scenario, like transform function over here. Okay. For me, I get an question in the reverse way. What they ask, they give me an answer first, and then they ask me about they give me four options for the uh, four different option of the code and ask me which will be perform this testable transformation. Let's take an overview of answer is going to be A. Let's understand what is the benefit of delta lake file statistics. What is a delta lake file statistics? A delta lake file statistics is something which capture the logs of the tables and store it into the transaction log table. So average data skipping is used for the data skipping. So what exactly data we will get, then you will understand why we are considering a data skipping as an option. So in the delta like file statistics, we get the we get the statistics of total number of records, minimum value for each first 32 columns, maximum value and null value. So why we are saying the data skipping, if we wanted to count the number of rows from the table, it won't exactly go to the table and count the number of rows. It will check the statistic file. If there is that is present in that statistics file, it will fetch the data from the statistic files only. It won't go to the table. That is the benefit of delta file like statistics. Question number 5. Which of the following approach allow correctly to perform the streaming deduplication? Streaming deduplication is something to get the unique records from the table or the data frame on which we are from which we are going to read the data. Here the option is C. Let's understand. Deduplication record within the each batch, then merge into the target table using a insert only. Insert only merge. Why? Because streaming always perform the insert only. If we are going to perform the delete update delete operation on the table, then table will no more be called as a streaming table. So streaming table is only appear or allow insert only. And for the deduplication, we can use a drop duplicate function while reading the data from table or the source data frame. Then basically it will only fetch the distinct record from the source end. Next question is, this is one of the most important question. It can be asked in multiple ways, multiple scenarios will be there. So look at English carefully. What is the question? Which of the following describe the minimal permission of data engineer need to edit the configuration of the existing cluster? So we have to focus on edit the configuration of the existing cluster as well as the minimal permission. So here the answer is a can manage privilege. We'll understand why. Here we have the three different uh, permissions. One first is a can manage, then can restart, and can attach. Right here it should be can attach. I have written over here can attach. So least minimal permission is a can attach. So in the can attach, user can only see the attach the notebook to the cluster, but cluster and run the cluster. Along with that, it can look into the Spark UI and those stuff. If we want a user to have a permission to restart and terminate the cluster, then we provide a can restart permission. Can restart permission include all the permission from can attach plus two more permission can terminate and restart the compute. Can manage can manage include all the permission from can manage can attach as well as can restart. Also it gives an functionality to the edit the configuration of the cluster. So we can say it is a topmost permission for any of the cluster, we can say. Let's move on. Question number 7. A data engineer claims that if the grant select on HR catalog to the reporting team, the team will automatically have the select access to all the new tables and the views in the catalog in the next month. Data engineer argue that this approach will save the time. They don't have to grant the access for each of the new table or view virtually. Correct. So basically in this question, what they are asking, so you are granting the select statement to HR catalog to the one of the group. So what data engineer is asking, so just grant it on the catalog level so that even in the future, if you are adding any new object in the catalog, automatically the user or the group of the user will have the permission. So they do not need to rework again on the permission part. So answer is going to be B. Here in this question, so this is related to the Unity catalog. So in this one, are tasked to create a Unity catalog table containing customer information, including email address and phone numbers across a multiple region. Clear so far? Just one. The organization wants to ensure that user can query the table, but personally identified information, that is a PLL, is not exposed to those without a proper access. Which method should the data engineer use efficiently enforce this requirement? Let's go through one by one. So here we can talk about the data governance uh, as compared with the Unity catalog. And we all know Unity catalog brings up the more data governance and centralized data governance in the Databricks. And Unity catalog with should be for the runtime should be 11 plus 11.3 plus. But user dynamic view for redacting sensitive info columns. This can be true. So for now, we'll just consider it as a true because it can be possible. We can create views, and through the views, we can uh, mask the sensitive information. Okay. Use a table object privilege to revoke the access on the sensitive columns. Here, if we are using a table level object, then it will automatically revoke an access to the table. It will like access on the table, not on the column. So that particular group of user will not have an access to whole table instead of column. So this does not work for us. So we are just cancelling it. Apply column mask to configure the fine graded access control. This can be true, like masking a column. This can be possible. Using a row level filter to restrict the access to region specific customer. But here we do not want a region specific customer. We just want to mask all the PLL columns, not on any row specific. So this can be neglected. Let's see the answer. Answer is going to be C. Let's see how. And for the A, we can create a view, but creating a view, then in that scenario, we have to manage few extra views and we have to use them in the ETL in that scenario. So this can also be not good. Column masking can be good because in the Unity catalog brings up column masking as well as row level. In the column masking, what we do, we write down the function, and that function is applicable to that particular column only based on the group of the group or the group of people or a simple say separate people. So that based on that we can create the configuration. Question number 9. A data engineer team at a retail company frequently collaborate with the business analytics insight from the Unity catalog table. Over the time, the analysts have reported the confusion about the several column in a key table because the existing company documentation is outdated. To make sense. To improve the efficiency and the reduce the misinterpretation, the team leads recommended adding a clear description of all the table columns. However, manually documenting hundred of table column would be time consuming and likely introduce. Correct. Here is the scenario. So basically, they are the business. They have the number of cost tables over there. In the table, they have the number of columns. So they want each of the columns should have the descriptive description on top of it, so that if we are looking it in the future or anyone is looking into that particular table or the column, he'll get an idea what data we'll have. So in this one, in the Databricks, we have the four features. We can use the AI generated column comments through which we get all the columns. I'll show you over here. You can see here in this one we have AI generated columns, and we can add the comments over here based on the AI generated. In the next scenario, here you can see edit the columns command. Once you hit the AI generated, you will get this window. They will write down the description for you. If you wanted, you can edit it and select save all. So basically this will go into the directly to the table. Question number 10. Which of the following function can data engineer use to return a data frame containing a distinct rows from the data? We have discussed that one. So if we wanted to get the distinct row, we can use a drop duplicate function. Basically, drop duplicate is nothing but it will only fetch the distinct record and drop the duplicates one. A data engineering team is discussing the optimal data layout strategy for growing managed tables in the Unity catalog. They are considering partitionized Z order and liquid cluster to improve the query performance. Which scenario is based to indicate that the automatic liquid clustering is recommended choice? First, we'll just understand what is a partitioning. Partitioning, when we wanted to partition the data based on the year or a country, in that scenario, we can use a partition. So it will create a separate folder for as per that particular country. Z order is always right on top of the optimize command. Optimize is nothing but if we are having a n number of small files with the small size, if we run the optimize command, it will merge all the files and create a few files on top of that. What Z order do on top of optimize, if we are passing out the ID column or anything, then Z order rearrange that particular partition or the file we can say, so that in the future, if we are processing or using that particular table in the where clause, it will use that order file and it will fetch the data. Now what the see partitioning and Z order. Now if we have added the new data in the table, and if we perform the partition and Z order again, Z order, then it will perform on whole table instead of only the new data. So it is not an incremental. But what liquid cluster is do, liquid cluster is incremental. It will only rearrange the data, newly added data. It won't touch the previous or old data what we have. And in the liquid cluster, we also have the option of a automatic liquid clustering. What is in the what exactly they are asking in the question? In the automatic liquid cluster, what they do, Databricks understand the query, what is the, how we are using that particular table, what is a previous query, how many which columns we are using in the where filtering the for filtering the query. Based on that, it reorganize the data based on those column only. So that is why the answer is A. I'll say liquid cluster. Please focus on liquid cluster, optimize, Z order, partitioning, as well as auto compaction. Will for the auto compaction, we'll get into those questions in the future. But now focus on these three. These are the three important and confusing part, and you will get at least 2 to 3 questions based on this scenario. Which of the following commands allow the data engineer to verify that the constant and the column comments have successfully added? Is pretty much simple. We can use describe extended in the cells. No need to explain this one. If we are passing the parameter and we read inside the notebook, we can use the widgets over there. Again, one more question again regarding the delta file statistic. Statement regarding the delta file statistic. I already told you. Delta file statistic collect the stats for first 32 column in each table, and those table, those logs will store in the transaction log, not in the Hive meta store. So answer is going to be D. 15th question, the last question for the part 1. The data engineer is tasked to creating a comprehensive dashboard to track and analyze the consumption of a computing resources across the various workload in their organization. To accomplish this, the data engineer writes the following SQL query against the usage system. So this is one of the most. Again, in this one, what they have given me, they have given me number of exactly opposite. They given me what is the answer over here. So run as an user. They give me run what will be the code you will write in this scenario to get the computing resources per user. So what you can do, you can just check out the billing usage on the table, whatever we have API documentation, and let's go through each of the column and their description, because they can ask you anything in this through the billing usage. So be prepared for this one. Thank you. We'll discuss few more part about it. In the next part, we'll try to cover more questions.